Today with FFmpeg, we're going to look at how to split a video or trim the time down on it. So let's look at our file that we've been working with here. And it's a nice video, but you'll notice right at the very end, the last second, I go to hit the button to stop the camera, and the camera shakes right there. So let's try cutting off that last second or so. You can see right here that this video was 8.6 seconds long, so we'll cut off the last let's cut off the last 2 seconds just to make sure we get it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go FFmpeg -I, and we're going to go input -I stands for input. We're going to put our input file there, and then we're going to say we want the -T for time, and this is the end time. This is how long the video is. And it's an 8-second video, 8.6 seconds. So let's just trim it down. We'll just trim it down to 7 seconds. So we got hours, minutes, and then seconds. So we're saying we're going to take this video and we're going to cut it off at 7 seconds. And the output file will be called output.mpeg. Now, if we play the output file, you'll see that it should stop before it gets to that little jerky part. Right there. See, it's 7.5 seconds now, it says. I'm pretty sure that means 7.5 seconds. But it cut it off at 7 seconds, basically. And so we like that, but you notice once again, we recompressed it. We took an MPEG and we recompressed it, and we didn't even compress it at as high a quality as the original. Let's say we didn't want to lose any quality. Now, you can't do this with all video formats, but MPEG and DV will allow you to just copy the video without recompressing it, and that's very simple to do. So all we have to do is we type in the same command. So we got FFmpeg -I and then our input file, -T and then time, the length, and our output. But before we do our output, what we're going to say is -V codec. Now this is where you would set your video codec, which is something I'm going to get into in later tutorials. We haven't really needed to do that yet, but you can say what type of video codec you want to use, how you want to compress it. But if we just use copy, it doesn't recompress it. It takes the file, the video from the original file, and puts it in the output file. And two great things about this. One, like I said, you can do this with DV files and MPEG files. I'm sure there's other formats you can do it with, but like if you have an OGG file or an MPEG-4 file, trying to do this, you're going to come into some issues. But with MPEG and DV, works great. So two benefits of it. One, you don't lose any quality because you're just copying that file over. Two, since it's not recompressing, it does the conversion really fast because all it has to do is copy the information, not recompress it. So if you're working with a lot of video, it's going to speed up the time greatly. So we'll do that, and we can actually do the same A codec, and that's for the audio codec, and we'll say copy for that too. So the quality of the audio stays the same as well. And if you want to recompress the audio, you can copy the video and recompress the audio, or the other way around, you can recompress the video and leave the audio the same. But basically what we're doing here is we're using FFmpeg, taking our input file, which is this here, setting the time or the length of it to 7 seconds, which is cutting off the last second or so of it, and we're just going to copy the audio and video instead of recompressing it. So we'll hit enter there. Yes, we'll overwrite our last output file. And you see how fast that was? Because there was no compression needed. Now we'll just go mplayer, output, and there we go. You can see the quality is better than the last output file because we didn't have to recompress it. And it should still cut off at 7 seconds right there. So that's trimming up an audio file. Now that's trimming the end. We're setting the length to 7 seconds. What happens if we want to cut a few seconds off the beginning? Well, that's simple. We can set a start time. So what we'll do is we'll go here, we'll go -SS, start seconds, maybe? Just think of it as start time. And then we're going to set when we want the video to start. So let's cut off the first 2 seconds of it. So we'll say we want to start off at 0 hours in the video, 0 minutes, and we'll say 2 seconds. We'll hit enter there. Yes, override the last file. Once again, real quick, because we copied, there was no recompression, so no quality loss. This is great, especially you have like my camera here is a Sony hard drive camera. Everything's saved as MPEG. I can splice videos and stick them together, which we'll go over in a future tutorial, without losing any quality. So here we go. We're going to go MPlayer, and we'll play our output file, and we're playing it. But you'll notice the first few seconds were cut off, but we still have that end where it jerks around a little bit. That's because the length of the video is still 7 seconds. So we started 2 seconds in and we set the video to 7 seconds. So the video it's still going to try to save it as a 7-second video. So in theory it would go from 2 seconds to 9 seconds, although the video is not that long. So what we need to do is subtract that 2 from our 7 seconds. And so we'll set this to 5 seconds. So basically this is going to go 2 seconds into the video and then play for 5 seconds, so it will cut off the last second of the video. So originally we had an 8-second video, and now we are going to be down to a 5-second video. We cut 3 seconds off total. 1 second off the end, 2 seconds off the beginning. Let's do that. Overwrite it once again real quick, no recompression, and we'll play our output file. We're starting 2 seconds in. I know it's really hard to tell that we start 2 seconds in, but we stop a second before the end. So now we have a 5-second video instead of an 8-second video because we trimmed a second off the end and 2 seconds off the beginning. We'll go over that command one more time. FFMPEG-I, the input file, where we want to start, and how long we want the video to be. So remember, this is not the end of the video, it's how long the video is total. And then we have our video codec set to copy here. Now, once again, works with DV and MPEG, and you can try it with other formats, but you're probably going to run into issues if they're really compressed. So if you were working with, let's say, an OGG file, you'd want to basically probably convert this to a DV file to prevent any loss of quality, any more loss of quality. You can do MPEG, but you're going to be losing a little bit more quality there. And DV is always a good format to work in until you're done and ready to save and put online or whatever. But we'll say target ntsc-dv, and we'll make our output file a DV file. So this is doing the same thing. We're trimming the video. We're trimming 2 seconds off the beginning and setting it to 5 seconds in length. But instead of copying the video and the audio, we're going to be compressing it as a DV format. Which really shouldn't lose any quality either. And this is the way you would do it if you were doing this with something other than a DV or an MPEG. So if you're working with like an MPEG 4 or an OGG video or a DivX video, which is an MPEG 4 video, but we'll do that. You'll see it does take a few seconds for it to convert. And we'll mplay out the output.dv file. And it looks pretty much the same, except for now it's in DV format. So depending on the file you're converting from, you're either going to want to copy it to not lose any quality, or I would recommend recompressing it to a DV format, or if you're really limited on space, because DV files are large, MPEG, the DV format, but you're going to be losing a little bit of quality going that way. So let's have a look at our files here. We've got our original file, which is 9 megabytes. We got our DV format, which is 18 megabytes. And remember, that's a shorter, so it's twice the size, but it's also almost half the length. Instead of 8 seconds, it's 5 seconds. So DV format is 3 to 4 times the size of the standard DVD MPEG format. I'm sorry, the high quality DVD MPEG format. The standard, oh no, that's still high quality there because it's what we copied. So anyway, as you see, DV is much larger in size. Trimming up the MPEG file, we trimmed off some megabytes there as well. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Keep on watching. We got a lot more FFmpeg videos coming up. And I hope you have a great day.